way to get his daily dose of adrenaline. Maybe you can take up urban beekeeping.
Your stuff can't protect itself. That's why the Geico Insurance Agency helps make it easy to switch and save on renter's insurance. Renter's insurance will cover personal property loss or damage as well as provide liability protection. Visit geico.com today.
Guys, when you buy your clothes at DXL, you look good. But you feel like a rock star. So if you want to look and feel like a... You'll find all the brands you love, waist size 38 and up, all in one awesome store. DXL, you're looking good. Right now, Harbor Bay tees are just $19.99 each when you buy 2 or more.
Good morning, 9:02, 61 degrees. Taking a look at Inland Empire weather, I'm Mark Westwood. Well, mostly sunny today, all the way through tomorrow. A little cooler, though. Highs in the 70s. Overnight, early morning low clouds. Otherwise sunny through the week, all the way into Thursday and Friday. Mountains mostly clear and breezy at times. Resort level highs around 60. In the deserts, mostly sunny. Partly cloudy through Saturday. Slight day-to-day cooling through Friday. Highs in the 80s and 90s. Winds gusting to about 30 miles per hour across the northern deserts on Thursday. And in the beaches, low cloud and fog overnight. Partly cloudy in the daytime. Highs Friday around 67. Surf from 2 to 5 feet and increasing all the way to about 6 feet. Water temperatures around 63. Currently 63 degrees at Kcaa-Ray as we take a look at traffic. Not much to report. Moreno Valley stop-and-go traffic. I-215 northbound between Alessandra Boulevard and University Avenue. The 60 West is busy between Day Street and the 215. And out in Ontario, slow traffic 60 between Haven Avenue and the 57 Redlands. Slow traffic I-10 westbound between Redlands Boulevard and Orange Street. This weather and traffic report brought to you by Absolutely Adorable Pet Grooming. They remind pet owners of the importance of spaying and neutering. Shelters overflow with unwanted pets. Spaying and neutering helps to prevent this and has many health benefits too. That message courtesy of Absolutely Adorable Pet Grooming at 175 Costin Avenue in Hemet, serving all breeds of dogs 60 pounds or less, and kitties too, with over 16 years of experience. For the finest in grooming, call Absolutely Adorable Pet Grooming at 951-929-3202. That's 951-929-3202.
Kcaa is your CNBC News affiliate. We're the station that gets down to business.
This is Scientific American's 60-Second Science. I'm Christopher Intagliata. Got a minute? A 2014 analysis found that New York City's Queens was the most ethnically diverse county in the continental U.S. But when it comes to the diversity of DNA found in each borough's subway stops, the Bronx takes the prize.
I live in Brooklyn, so I was kind of hoping Brooklyn might be top of the list, but we're second place. Manhattan in the middle, and then Queens, and then Staten Island.
Christopher Mason, a geneticist.
A very curious geneticist, I'd say.
At the Weill Cornell Medical College in Manhattan. Mason's curiosity led him and his colleagues on a 5-borough tour of New York's 468 subway stations and the Staten Island Railway. They swabbed turnstiles, kiosks, benches, trash cans, railings, and subway cars, then sequenced every bit of DNA they found. The result?
The subway kind of looks like skin.
Meaning they found a whole lot of bacteria, like Pseudomonas, that also live on our skin. The DNA at each subway stop mirrored the genetic diversity of the local residents and what they like to eat.
We could see other evidence of things like molecular echoes of pizza, cucumbers, as well as chickpeas that might be from falafels or hummus.
The researchers also found DNA fragments from anthrax and plague bacteria. But don't panic.
We have zero evidence that they're alive or remotely pose a risk to public health.
The team turned up some 1,700 organisms in total, but nearly half the DNA they sequenced couldn't be linked to any known organism. Assuming there's no actual Men in Black type extraterrestrial police agency operating underground in Manhattan, the unknown DNA means that we either haven't discovered some subway dwellers, or maybe we just haven't sequenced their DNA yet. The study's in the journal Cell Systems. Despite the mysterious genetic sequences, Mason says the research has made his commute a little more carefree.
And the study has replaced what used to be sort of a fog of almost fear maybe about what might be on the surface to concrete knowledge that the vast majority of everything under our fingertips is mostly benign. So I've become much more confident.
Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Christopher Intagliata.
Thank you for keeping it tuned to KCAA Radio. AM 1050 gives you all the information you need to know and maybe just a little bit more.
This is the Ray Lucia Show.
Coming to the best for the answers here.
The one show that helps you make better money moves and provides strategies and solutions for your biggest financial challenges.
You guys talk about a lot of really good information that even I can understand.
Call Ray now at 844-RAY-SHOW. 844-RAY-SHOW. This is the Ray Lucia Show.
Indeed it is, and thank you for that standing ovation. I do appreciate it. Welcome, folks. It's the Ray program. Glad you're here. 844-RAY-SHOW is the number. Remember, emails, which we get to last segment every single day. Just go to raylucia.com, RAYLUCIA.com. Shoot me an email. I've got 4 good ones. But joining me in the studio today, Bobby Woo's still around here somewhere, but John Bam Ransom, co-hosting with me. Hey, John.
Hey, how are you today, sir?
You know what? I'm fantastic. Thank you.
Yes.
Back from 6 weeks in Vietnam. Vietnam, as they said, as Country Joe and the Fish
that's right.
once said, well, it's 1, 2, 3. What are we fighting for? Remember that?
Yep, I do remember that.
You're a lot younger than me.
Not
so
that much.
You're a young kid compared to me, buddy. Anyway, John's going to be doing some co-hosting with me as the show moves along. You know, when I turned 60, my wife said you need to take some time off, and I didn't.
Right.
When I turned 62, she said you need to take some time off. So I went from a 4-hour-a-day show to a 2-hour-a-day show. And when I turned 65, she said you need to take some time off, and I'm gonna. Just a little bit this summer, and John's gonna be doing some fill-in co-hosting, but I'm still gonna be sticking around for the emails. I gotta answer the email questions. I love doing that. And some opens as well as
Definitely
we get into this stuff.
Definitely the Ray Lucia show still.
Yeah, but John Bam, who, as I said to our TV viewers, really built the whole town hall finance. How many town hall subscribers are there?
Well, they do about 3 million page views a month, and we start out with about 70,000 a month.
Yeah, I see that Katie Pavlich all over the place.
Katie Pavlich is everywhere. Guy Benson is everywhere. They have a lot of big writers there.
Well, she's cute and you're not. But welcome to the program, John Bam. So anyway. We'll get to the Vietnam story in just a minute, because I'm really fascinated by some of the things you're telling me about Vietnam. But today, I wanted to cover something that's kind of interesting and counterintuitive, if you can believe that. As the folks at Think Advisor wrote, 4 new and surprising facts about retirement security. Advisors, they say, take note. Americans are retiring earlier than expected, are happy about annuities, and love your advice. Counterintuitive for sure, because we've heard a lot about this. Now, the retiring earlier part we also know about, and the main reason for that is healthcare. People think they're gonna, keep working or retire later or whatever, and then something happens and they're forced into retirement.
Well, and I also think that the employment situation in the country the last couple of years has forced people to think about early retirement, because frankly they just can't find jobs.
Yeah, or they don't have a wife like mine who's forcing me into taking some time off. It's not going to be forever, but I will take a little bit of time off this summer. We've got some trips planned. I've got some health issues, not personally, but within my family circle that need to be dealt with. We got a big move coming up, as you know. We're downsizing a little bit, and then my dad who's 90. So there's so many things that I have to that are going to keep me busy.
You're switching from your accumulation strategy to your distribution strategy.
You know what? You've read the books, haven't you?
Yes, I have. I've read the book.
I'm so happy about that. And I'm wondering how much in royalties I got out of him. Myth: people can retire according to their plans. It's not true. 45% of individuals, Bam, retire when planned, but 49% retire earlier than planned. Health reasons, about 17%. Layoffs, as you talk about, the employment situation, about 14%. Negative work conditions, which is really what we face here. 7%, and other, I don't know what the other stands for, but this comes from the LIMRA Secure Retirement Institute. I want to go back to this employment thing because, you are a political writer and you're also a financial writer.
Right.
And not to get political because I don't. My conservative stripes, well, they show sometimes, but not all the times. You're more whacked out than I am. But, we do hear all the time that the middle class over the last, 8-10 years has gotten absolutely hosed, right?
Yes, they have.
Incomes today, after inflation, are lower than they were a decade ago for the middle class. The Wall Street fat cats have gotten way, way fatter.
Yes.
Which is sort of a, counterintuitive conservative thing. Because a lot of people think, well, you conservatives just want to put money in the fat cats a while. No. Those guys on Wall Street, I'm still waiting for one of them.
No, listen, I love when the fat cats make money. I just want them to do it legitimately.
Okay.
That's my issue. And over the last 6, 7, 8, even 10 years, they haven't done it the legitimate way.
But in some respects, the Fed has just basically written a check from the government to the fat guys.
Well, they've taken all of the money from the subprime mortgage. That's what quantitative easing was about.
Right.
They took all of the subprime mortgages. They bought them out of the private market. They gave them to institutional investors, and that's where the money for the stock market to go up came from, in part.
In part, you're absolutely right. And so, but what bugs me is, remember the last week or so, a couple of the big banks got nailed for like $5.6 billion. Yes. You see that story?
Yes.
And I'm saying to myself, has anybody been called on the carpet? Any of the individuals, the CEOs, the chief financial officers, the people that constructed all these derivatives and stuff like that? Has anybody been? I haven't seen any individual called out. The companies were very quick to pull out their checkbook, and maybe that's what you do.
Well, that's exactly. It's a revolving door. It's a continuous circle. Okay, the government feeds Wall Street the money from the Federal Reserve. They make profits off of it. Then the government comes calling and say, hey, now we need our kickback. Where's our $5.6 billion that you need to give us because of derivatives?
Craziness. Okay, The next one, though, annuity happers. Can you host this show and replace the moron that's doing it? No.
No, I can't.
Annuity owners are happy with their purchases. So it seems, they say, that annuity owners are smiling these days. LIMRA found that owning an annuity increases confidence in achieving a secure retirement lifestyle. Where have you heard that before? An optimistic fact. 9 out of 10 affluent households with an annuity are confident in their retirement security. Even better
is that for people who are licensed to sell those things, if they say that, they have to provide about 17 pounds worth of material. Yeah. But anybody can show up at a cocktail party and say, buy an annuity. Yeah. We have an email coming up at the end of the show that's going to talk a little bit about the annuity. Hey, is this a good investment? Is this a bad investment? Does it make a distinction between, say, a fixed annuity, a variable annuity?
They don't really say that. Mm-hmm. But most of these folks, I'm suspecting, have some kind of lifetime income strategy, be it a fixed annuity for guaranteed lifetime income or a variable annuity with a guaranteed minimum withdrawal benefit.
And I think that's the key. It's the guarantee that makes them so happy.
Absolutely right. Mm-hmm. And then finally, many want advice. Few are willing to pay. I found this out as a financial advisor for many, many, many years. And it's one of the reasons why, after charging fees and all that stuff for a few years, I gave up on it. Because people are just unwilling to pay for that kind of advice. And if you're smart enough as an advisor, and you've got your software, and we developed our own and all that stuff, you can, if you can't provide an hour of your time for free to sit down with somebody and help them through their plan, then you are either not very confident in your ability and have no right sitting down with a consumer that's got money, or you're a greedy you-know-what. So I've always said this, There's a time to pay and a time not to pay. If we're just getting to know each other, why don't I sit down with you? Got pen, paper, my calculator. Let's do a quickie plan on a piece of paper. If I can't do that, you shouldn't hire me.
Well, let me tell you the truth. The dirty secret is that commission business pays for the people who cannot afford advice.
Oh,
commission business pays for people who cannot.
You've not been following the fiduciary very closely, have you?
I have been.
The whole fiduciary
and they're wrong
argument.
about it. They're wrong about it.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. There's several people that would debate you on this. I'm not one of them because I agree with that. And I've said it publicly. And that was unrehearsed, by the way. All right, we'll come back with John the Band. But, Bobby, we've got a guest coming on, don't we?
Alidor.
Steve Alidor, absolutely. Our mortgage professional. Stick around. He's the loan financial planner at loanfinancialplanner.com. Always best care coming up as well. Very, very interesting guest coming up. So don't go away. The boys are back in town. Johnny Bam joining me right here on the Ray Lucia Show.
Kcaa.
Hi, everybody. Ray Lucia here. You know, we just saw the biggest jump in mortgage rates in more than 25 years. So now it's more important than ever to lock in your loan with a professional who has a thorough understanding of this wild mortgage market. That pro, Steve Alidor, the loan financial planner from Rancho Financial. Steve is one of the top 1% of mortgage originators in the entire country. And for years, Steve has worked with me, my family members and friends, and in most cases will close your loan in 30 days or less. Time is critical if you're ready to buy or refi. No one knows where rates will go next. Learn the advantages of working with a direct lender who can fast-track your loan. Steve Alidor can calculate which program is best for you and educate you about all of your options. Call the loan financial planner, Steve Alidor, at 888-563-1070. That's 888-563-1070. Or watch Steve's free home loan webinar at loanfinancialplanner.com. That's loanfinancialplanner.com.
Are your student loans making life miserable? Optimum Student Solutions can now help consolidate your federal student loans. That's right, we can help lower your monthly payment on your federal student loans. In some cases, you can lower your monthly payments in half. It doesn't matter how much you owe, even if you are in default on your federal student loans. Just call us right now and find out if you qualify for these substantial savings. We'll help you remove your default status, lower your monthly payments, and stop wage garnishments. Let our experts eliminate the confusion and find the best payment solution for you. All you have to do is make the call. If you are a teacher, nurse, police officer, firefighter, or work for a nonprofit, new federal programs are available that may have a portion of your student loan forgiven. Stop worrying and start saving. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159. Get free information. Call now, 800-375-1159. That's 800-375-1159.
The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood. Fisher Investments Annuity Insights booklet is now available. Stay tuned to hear more about that. You might think there just couldn't be any room in a big city for keeping bees, even when it's warm enough. But the idea has been tried on rooftops in cities such as New York and London, because some people want to harvest their honey as close to home as possible. And from down under comes a special type of beehive that works much like a tap. More about the flow hive after this. Australian Stuart Anderson and his son Cedar are the creators of the flow hive. As Cedar explains on their company's website, the process of harvesting honey from a regular beehive is tricky indeed.
You had to protect yourself from stings, fire up a smoker to sedate the bees, crack the hive open, lift heavy boxes, pull out the frames trying not to squash bees, brush them off the combs or use a leaf blower, transport the frames to a processing shed, cut the wax capping off, filter the honey and clean up all the mess. Then the frames have to go back to the hives again.
All that, but he says the flow hive works much like a tap. Once the bees have completed their honeycomb cells inside the hive, you just insert the tap and turn the handle.
When you turn the handle, our patented split cell technology creates channels inside the comb, allowing the honey to flow down and out of the hive while the bees are undisturbed on the comb surface.
And once the honey is drained, you turn the tap again and the honeycombs reset so the bees can get back to work on the next batch of honey. Anderson says the flow hive helps amateur beekeepers to get natural honey without having to wear those space-age suits to keep the angry bees at bay. After all, happy bees mean more honey to enjoy. The Osgood File, I'll see you online at Facebook, Twitter, and at theosgoodfile.com. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Here's a look at the Kcaa Community Calendar. I'm Di Rice. The NID Housing Counseling Agency is providing a free foreclosure prevention workshop Saturday, June 6th from 10 till 3. Whether you're unemployed, having problems catching up on your house payments, or in need of transitional assistance or a principal reduction, NID can help. At the free foreclosure prevention workshop, a certified counselor will meet with you to help you decide upon your options. All you need to do is register, gather up some documents, and join the free foreclosure prevention workshop located at the Way World Outreach at 1001 North Arrowhead Avenue in San Bernardino, Saturday, June 6th from 10 till 3. Register by calling 886-993-4NID.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
The fully caffeinated Ray Lucia show right now. 2 cups of coffee, and I'm ready to rock and roll with Steve Aldred. How you doing, Steve?
I'm probably at 2 or 3, so we're going to be at the same
very
level.
Good. That's why your hair's standing up.
That's right.
Interesting stuff. Interest rates, mortgages, conforming, non-conforming loans. A lot of stuff that you need to know about. Our loans
are loans that are set up and serviced by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac.
So they conform to the Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac standards.
Correct. We have the standard conforming loans at 417 and below.
417,000 and
below. Correct, which is for most of the United States. Then in certain high-cost areas,
where I live,
Fannie and Freddie have what are called high-balance loans. And that'll vary from state to state, area to area. For instance, here in San Diego, high balance loan limits 562, 350. In the higher cost areas, Orange County, LA, up to 625.5. That's the max high balance conforming limit. With Fannie and Freddie, all of the loans are run through an automated underwriting engine. And there are 2 separate engines, one for Fannie, one for Freddie. They're a little bit different. With Fannie and Freddie, debt-to-income ratios on conforming loans, generally anywhere between 45 and 50%.
So in other words, if you make $100,000 a year, you can't spend more than $50,000 a year or $40,000 a year on debt service? Is that what that means?
50% of your adjusted gross income with your house payment plus any credit debt. So if your gross house payment is or if your gross income is $8,000, then as long as
that's per month.
Correct. Then in some situations, if your loan to value generally is below 80%, you've got good credit, then you can carry a debt load of $4,000, which is a combination house payment, credit card debt, car payments.
They use minimum payments for credit card debt?
Correct.
Wow.
So basically what's showing up on the credit report. With Fannie and Freddie, loans 417 and below, as low as 3% down. Above the 417, we can do as little as 10% down. Now, when you get to the non-conform, and the other thing too with Fannie and Freddie is that if you have an existing line of credit, and a lot of people who purchased homes or refinanced, let's say between 2002 and 3 and up to about 2008, were able to get lines of credit at great interest rates.
A lot of them took money out, borrowed it, so they didn't get cut back.
Correct.
So I'm sitting here with a second deed of trust, line of credit, and for $50,000, I borrowed the money, I blew it. I'm telling a story, it's not me really. But now I'm sitting here and rates are about to change.
Correct. And with the lines of credit, one of the things that consumers may want to look at is that if you set up a line of credit, let's say prior to 2007, very shortly that line of credit is going to go from the draw period or the interest-only period to the repayment period, which is fully amortized. each line of credit lender had different programs. So they were either 20-year loans, 25-year loans, or 30-year loans.
So none of them were just straight interest only and a balloon at the end?
Only a few were balloon. I've seen a few Wells Fargo loans that were 10-year or 15-year lines of credit that were balloons.
So it might have been a 20-year. The first 10 years is interest only. The next 10 years you got to fully amortize it?
Next 10 years or 15 years, correct, is fully amortized.
So there's a big, huge payment coming.
It can be for a lot of borrowers. And then coupling that with the fact that the feds are going to start to increase short-term rates, then there's going to be a rate increase as well on your line of credit. So there's going to be a coupling effect of line of credit interest rate going up, going into the repayment period, so that there could be a significant jump in your payment.
So what you really need to do, folks, is you need to contact Steve. If you happen to be in this particular situation, or any situation for that matter, loanfinancialplanner.com. He's brilliant, as you can tell. It's why I've had him on the air since he had dark hair. Loan Financial Planner.
That was a long time
ago. I know. Well, we've been doing this for 20 plus years. Loanfinancialplanner.com. What's your number again? I always forget it.
It's 888-563-1070.
888-563-1070. Now, jumbo loans, let's talk about that. You have a special program going on with qualifying for jumbos?
Correct. Now, jumbo loans different than conforming loans. Jumbo loans fit within different qualifying requirements. Last year, they came up with what's called the qualifying mortgage, so more stringent guidelines in most cases for jumbo loans. Maximum debt-to-income ratio, 43%. If you have an existing line of credit and we're doing a refinance on that property, then on the jumbo loans, let's say you have a $100,000 line of credit, zero balance. You've got no payment. I'm required to qualify you at 1% of that line amount. So you have a zero payment, but I've got to use a $1,000 payment to qualify you, which makes it more difficult.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
$1,000 a month?
Correct, which makes it more difficult to qualify if you're doing a refinance with a line of credit. Now, on the flip side, with the jumbo loans, with Fannie and Freddie, if you have an existing line of credit that's not purchase money, then we have to consider it a cash-out refinance, which limits the guidelines, the amount you can borrow, and increases the rate. But on a jumbo loan, if you have drawn less than $2,000 within the previous 12 months, I can combine that line of credit with a new first loan, and we can call it rate and term, which gives us more flexibility as far as your loan to value, which is generally needing about 20% equity or 20% down on a purchase. There are some programs we can do a little bit less. But again, going back to those of you that have line of credits that may adjust, we might be able to put you in a jumbo loan, combine both loans together, and minimize whatever effect's going to happen within the next 6 months or a year as far as that payment on the line of credit.
You know, there's a sense of urgency here, too, because if these short-term rates start going up, as everybody is predicting, short-term rates going up, it's going to have an impact on virtually all of these lines of credit, et cetera, et cetera. Long-term rates, the 30-year fixed and all that stuff, are still really, really competitive. So folks need to get a hold of you.
Correct, because when the short-term rates start to go up, the long-term rates will go up as well. And the special program that we now have with the jumbo lender, one specific lender, is that instead of having to use the mid-credit score of the lowest credit scores of both borrowers, they're now going to allow us to use the main wage earners mid-credit score. So if you're making more than your spouse, you have a 750 credit score and she has a 680 credit score, or the other way around, he or she, and you weren't able to qualify previously, we now have a program that will qualify on the main wage earners mid-credit score. That can make a difference of either being able to do a loan or for
get
instance,
a better rate.
On a refinance, there could be a difference of 7/8 of a point in interest rate using the lower credit score. And so now we can use the higher credit score and get the better interest rate.
I flunked math, but 7/8 is almost 1 full percentage point, as I recall. Steve Alladort, loanfinancialplanner.com. We'll be back.
This is KCAA.
California headline news. The man accused of shooting a San Diego sportscaster due in court today. Prosecutors say Mike Montana shot Kyle Kraska 6 times during an argument over money. Kraska spent weeks in the hospital. He's back on the air. An aide for California's state Senate leader denying a report that 2 staffers got about $2,500 a month each to drive state senators who were drunk home on the taxpayers' dime. Katie Grimes leads Sacramento Taxpayers Association. She is furious.
This is what erodes public trust. When you hear about kind of elitist programs like this, hiring 2 state employees to shuttle around inebriated senators. This is ridiculous.
And wildlife workers in Southern California say dozens of the animals affected by last month's oil spill have recovered alive and are making a good recovery.
That these birds made it, that they're doing well, that they're getting the right care, and that they're hopefully going to go home really soon.
Geico weather seasonal temperatures today. I'm John Gilliland, California headline.
Here's a crazy idea from Cash Call Mortgage. Take the mortgage you closed in the last year and look at redoing it at today's 15-year fixed 2.875% rate and APR with no closing costs. Just call 877-890-CASH, and with no cost or obligation, we'll tell you how much your payment could drop with the do-over refi. And you won't pay any points, deposits, or fees. None. It's so easy. Just do the regular paperwork, most of which you already did for your last refi, and we'll do the rest. So make the cash call at 877-890-CASH for today's 15-year fixed 2.875% rate and APR with absolutely no closing costs. The do-over refi, only from Cash Call Mortgage. Call 877-890-CASH and see for yourself.
Impact Mortgage Corp. DBA Cash Call Mortgage. Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-900-8744 for terms and restrictions. Rates may change without notice. California Department of Business Oversight. Residential Mortgage Lender Law License 4131083. NMLS 128231.
That's 877-890-CASH.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda.
Good morning, 9:32. It's a beautiful 72 degrees, and we're ready for Fred Wallen and sports.
Hey, thanks, Mark, very, very much. So the Dodgers can't score on the road after all. Last night in Colorado, the Blackout Kings clobbered the Rockies 11-4. The Dodgers had 4 baggers, including number 14 by rookie Jock Peterson. The center fielder's on a pace, get this, to hit 45 home runs and strike out almost 200 times. The all-time Major League record for striking out is 223. All I can say is Jock Peterson, quite a player, could be Rookie of the Year, but he's a weird leadoff guy. Clayton Kershaw pitched well over 7 innings, struck out 7, had 3 hits himself. Today the Dodgers have a doubleheader, afternoon and then evening. And guess what? Again, both games blacked out. Folks, call the Dodgers and scream. All right, meanwhile, the Angels used their power, 4 home runs, including 2 by Mr. Pujols, as they defeated the Rays last night 7-3. Pujols is red hot. Down in San Diego, the Mets' Jacob deGrom was unbelievable once again as the Mets bested the Padres. And, of course, if you're a Mets fan, and lots of Mets fans in Southern California, good things ahead with the young pitching staff. On the ice tomorrow night, Tampa Bay versus Chicago in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup. Blackhawks will win this series. But if you want my thoughts on sports, go to PhoenixSports.com, PhoenixSports.com. And basketball, the NBA Finals begin Thursday night in Oracle in Northern California. The Warriors are a 6-point pick over the Cavs in Game 1. Michael Thompson, of course, Klay Thompson's dad, said yesterday his son has not been cleared to play, but he was cleared to practice yesterday. So at this point, we do not know one way or the other. And in the NBA also, Fred Hoiberg is the new coach of the Bulls. In horse racing, we're 4 days away from the Belmont Stakes with American Pharoah going for the Triple Crown. First time in 37 years if the 3-year-old can get it done. We can get it done tomorrow, again, right here on KCAA Radio. Bye, everybody.
Those doggone Dodgers, Fred, I tell you. That's sports from Fred Wallen on KCAA 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Do you have a broken window or rock chip on your vehicle that needs repair? Give us a call at HM Auto Glass, 951-858-5190. HM Auto Glass is your locally owned and operated auto glass specialist, offering low cost and high quality auto glass repair and replacement. We also work with all major insurance companies and offer free mobile service. So call us, 951-858-5190. That number again is 951-858-5190.
Close only counts in horseshoes. And here at AM 1050 KCAA.
debt, get out of debt, get out of debt. Well, yeah, if they're talking about credit card debt and so forth, I'll go along with that. The mortgage debt at 3 3/4%, by the time you deduct that interest, it's costing you about 2 3/4%. And when you think about a 30-year time period, it's kind of hard not to want to have one of these low interest rate loans locked in for a long, long time.
Well, and you think about when was the last time we saw interest rates at this level? It was in the 1950s. So,
well, I was just a babe and you weren't even born yet.
I don't think you were born yet.
I was, but we won't
talk about that.
Joining me on the show, though, us on the program, Sanjay Das. He is the President and Operations Supervisor of Always Best Care Senior Services. I love this company because what they do is the kind of things that I am really interested in, especially for my dad. And I'll tell you more about that story because we've moved on helping Father Big Papa Joe here in the recent 48 hours. But Sanjay, thank you for joining us on the program today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me, Ray.
It's a pleasure. So it says here on your bio that you're passionate about nature, senior care, being healthy, and growing people. How do you grow people?
Well, you don't grow them physically, obviously. I was referring to enabling and empowering them to be bigger than where we are. Each of us are always looking for ways to challenge ourselves or to grow, and I just enjoy it. Just really thrive off of watching people as they grow and kind of creating that environment for them to do that.
Hey, Sanjay, this is John Bam Ransom, and you know, one of the things that impresses me about your approach is that you seem to take kind of a holistic, total approach to senior care. Talk a little bit about what drove you to that.
Yeah, absolutely. My grandmom, she just turned 91 this April, and she's 24/7 care now. My mom takes care of her and cooks for her every meal, even though we have the caregivers at home. My father-in-law had live-in care, so somebody taking care of him, all the time as required. He went through lots of physical challenges. My father lived in something called a residential care home, which is, like a place where seniors go to kind of living by themselves, 4 or 6 people. And so we've been on the other side where we needed help and we needed people to take care of our own seniors. And one of the other complications was all of the younger people were not in town. So, like, for example, I'm thousands of miles away. So how to make it all work remotely? So that's really where a lot of it came from. And my grandmom, she was my best friend. When she was much younger, she created a community of women in the small town that she was living in at that point in time. It was just a blessing, and kind of I'm grateful for growing up that way and then facing these challenges in our own family. So when I look at senior care now, it's around understanding what's going on with them. It's not about, well, I can do this for you. Well, I don't even know what they want, if I don't take the time to understand and find the right solution for what they need rather than what I have to offer.
Kind of the same thing as financial planning. You got to know what it is that they need first.
You have to assess the situation, and create a need, and then solve the problem. Always Best Care is the company. AlwaysBestCare.com. 855-470-CARE is the number. 855-470-2273. They're brought to us today by Answers for Elders, AnswersForElders.com. Dynamite company, my pal Diane Rosso, working that company very well. Sanjay, and looking through this, and I've spent a lot of time on this subject with not only people from your company, but in my own family situation, you kind of have to look at the surroundings, don't you? The hallways, you may need ramps, bathing facilities. What is it that you do to help get the house ready for potential home care?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You have to look at the overall scenario and the environment where somebody is living. And you already talked about some of those things, for example, the ramps and things. So what we're looking at is literally take it room by room as you're coming in from the outside or looking at it from inside out. What are certain things that need to be set up? So there are, the way I look at it, it kind of follows a certain Tony Robbins model is the physical body, our environment, and within the environment, each room. So the bedroom, does it need to get to it, do you need a stair lift, or do you need a relief mattress or pads, and etc. And then you talked about the ramp situation coming in and out of the house. There might need to be a ramp maybe between the living room and the dining room. Some people have a little like one step up or something like that. Like for example in the bathroom, just have lit floors so that and very ambiently lit so that at night it's not harsh, but you have that light just in case you wake up in the middle of the night and need to use the restroom, which is very normal and common. Keeping the carpeting, don't make sure that there's nothing loose out there. Area rugs are beautiful, but they might be a problem for some people. So things like that are really important things to look into. Having a walker inside the house, like for example, my grandmom hated it, but having a walker which helps them be stable as they're walking around in the house or even outside a little bit. Even if they feel that they're okay, using a cane is fine, but the cane is not necessarily the most stable thing. Mm-hmm. So things like that, and then there are motion sensor night lights. There's a lot of things that technology can do for you. It can make it safer, and then there's certain things obviously you can't do. So you're looking at things like that. Light switches, using dimmers. It may work for some people. It might not work for some people. So various things. Yeah. So
let me ask you one quick question before we go, because this is good. You said you're using the Tony Robbins philosophy. You're not having these seniors run through Kohl's, are you?
I don't think I would ever be able to have anybody do that. No, I don't.
All right, just kidding. Bam, what do you think?
Well, I think it'd be hard to do with a walker.
Listen, I love what your company does. My father ended up with a really bad infection in his leg a couple of weeks ago, and he was home-ridden for the last 2 weeks. It was driving him stir-crazy. And because all of us kids rotate in, he still had about a 5-6 hour gap each day, needing someone to come in and just chat with him, keep him from going stir-crazy. Talk about that.
Absolutely, and there are various ways of doing that. Having somebody as a companion to literally to speak to is a great thing. And one of the things that as I work with people, I notice everybody wants to share. They want to talk, but nobody wants to listen to them.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just listening, and as we get older, we have more to say and not enough people to listen to us. So the beauty part of it, having a good caregiver, is somebody who listens to you, and you have so much wisdom to share, and use that information to actually help back.
Hey,
so for example,
Sanjay, John Ransom. I mean, one of the things also strikes me is that you use technology in a very innovative way. I mean, we live in a time where technology can be deployed for lots of different things, and you're using it to help the quality of life for some of these seniors, are you not?
Absolutely. It's a key thing that we can use. There's something called My Wisdom. Sorry, you had a question out there, or
well, no, I just talk a little bit more about that. Yes.
Yeah, we got about 30 seconds.
Okay, so there is something called My Wisdom Link. There are similar products out there or services out there. What it is, it's in my mind, it's like a private Facebook. So as we get older, we have so much to share. Like my grandmom, she wrote a book. Not everybody can write a book or wants to write a book. So and in today's world with technology, you can have this thing called My Wisdom Link, where you can share your experiences and history and pictures and articles that you write or have written, and you can invite some people who can help you. So you can do this yourself, or you can have somebody like you talked about, your father, having a companion. So the companion can come and do some of the technology things for them, write some stuff for them. It's a beautiful technology to use, where it's actually working for you, not forcing you to do something that you don't want to do.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Sanjay.
Sanjay, we do appreciate it. Sanjay Das, alwaysbestcare.com, 855 855-470-CARE. 855-470-CARE. Brought to you today by AnswersForElders.com. We'll take a quick break. Come back with your email questions, so don't go away. The Ray Lucia Show.
Controlled? Well, maybe. Chaos? Definitely. Tune in weekday mornings, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. for Controlled Chaos with Gary Garver, Jigga, Dave, and Mary Tonga. KCAA, 1050 a.m. You have to hear it to believe it.
Big story from that razzle-dazzle place called El Casino Grande, otherwise known as Wall Street. 4 massive financial conglomerates, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, Barclays, and the Royal Bank of Scotland, have been caught in a criminal conspiracy to rig the global currency market. Bank regulators have now slapped them with an equally massive fine, totaling $5.4 billion. The financial felons coordinated their illegal currency manipulation scheme through online chat rooms with devil-may-care names like the Cartel and the Mafia. The bank's culture of greed led to such a reckless arrogance that one